This is the QTV Nightly News, which is also on Q Radio 103.3 FM, and I am Loliam Kamara. Thank you for joining us. Here are the headlines. As his week-long electrification project still continues, President Adama Barrow brought electricity to 202 communities in the Upper River region, marking another major milestone in the Gambia's drive toward universal access to power. The Female Lawyers Association Gambia flag, in partnership with Canada for a Fund for Local Initiatives, convened a national forum to address legal and structural barriers limiting women's participation in Gambian politics. The Gambia Immigration Department today held a passing out ceremony for 100 Border Patrol Unit officers after a 3-month intensive training program. Countries worldwide observed the International Day of Women and Girls in Science 2026 on Wednesday, promoting the full and equal participation of women and girls in STEM fields. In sports news, the Gambia Organization of the Visually Impaired Govi School organized a day-long sports competition to promote inclusion, nurture talent, and strengthen community engagement among visually impaired students on Thursday. Those were the headlines. Now the news in detail. As his week-long electrification project still continues, President Adama Barrow brought electricity to 202 communities in the Upper River region, marking another major milestone in the Gambia's drive toward universal access to power. Mam Nabuka tells us more.
In Jakunda Wuli district, scenes of celebration filled the air as residents witnessed electricity switch on in their homes for the very first time. From Jakunda to Konkunding, Sare Teneng, Samba Gabude and Kulibantang, communities once living in darkness are now connected to the national grid. Singing, dancing and applause welcomed the president as transmission lines were officially commissioned. The electrification forms part of the Lighting Communities Powering Development Initiative under the Ministry of Petroleum, Energy and Mines and NAWEC. The project covers 202 communities in the Upper River region out of 719 nationwide, bringing the Gambia closer to achieving universal electricity access by 2026, ahead of the Global Sustainable Development Goal 7 target of 2030. Speaking at the ceremony, President Barrow reaffirmed his government's commitment to transparency, efficient service delivery, and inclusive development, stressing that universal access to electricity is achievable even for countries with limited resources. Meanwhile, under the Gambia Electricity Restoration and Modernization Project, power has also been extended to 1,000 schools and 100 health facilities across the country. Classrooms are now equipped to use digital learning tools, while health centers can refrigerate life-saving vaccines and improve patient care. Development partners including the World Bank, European Union and European Investment Bank have praised the government's leadership in delivering transformative rural infrastructure, lighting up communities and powering a brighter future for the Gambia. Mam Nabuka, reporting for QTV News.
The Female Lawyers Association Gambia flag, in partnership with Canada Fund for Local Initiatives, convened a national forum to address and dismantle structural and legal barriers limiting women participation in Gambian politics. Mam Nabuka again.
In the Gambia, while women make up approximately 57% of the country's registered electorate, they remain vastly underrepresented in decision-making bodies, holding only 5 of the 58 seats in the National Assembly, 3 out of the country's 23 cabinet positions, and 15% of local councillorship positions. This elected representation is amongst the lowest in Africa. Such gaps often exclude women's perspectives from critical national debates on education, healthcare, economic and legal reforms. By providing legal literacy and leadership training, this event and the overall project seek to move women beyond traditional roles where they act primarily as mobilizers for male candidates and instead position them as viable leaders in their own right. Flag Vice President Yasin Senghor emphasized that a democracy remains fundamentally flawed when the majority of its population is denied equitable representation.
Women's political participation is not a favor to be granted, it is a right to be claimed. The Gambia stands at an important moment in its democratic journey. If we're serious about building a new political culture, one rooted in accountability, inclusion, and justice, then women must not just participate, they must also lead. Change will not happen because we hope for it. It will happen because we demand it, design it, and drive it.
Honorable Fatoumata Njie, the National Assembly member for Banjul South, highlighted the absence of representation for persons with disabilities and underscored the need to enforce laws that guarantee women equal participation in political and public life. She says resilience and sacrifice should not be the requirements for women to be deemed worthy of consideration.
Competence should be enough. Commitment should be enough. Our citizenship, which is our guarantee, should be enough. So let us move from conversation to commitments, from commitments to concrete reforms, and from reforms to measurable results. Let us demand systems that reflect the people they serve.
Here is Honorable Michelle Mendy, a participant and councillor for Esau Ward in the North Bank region.
The men said that, no, you cannot do it. Now go and look at the projects that today I'm digging a borehole in one school. For 20 good years, they don't have water. They've been using well water. Today they are digging that. So why can't we go and run for this? I said, I'm going and I'm unstoppable. If you want something, you must fight for it. Don't sit at home and say that, we cannot do it. It's only the men that can do it. We can do it. What a man can do, a woman can do better. We can be in our homes for 24 hours without tired. So why can't we go and run the battle that the men are running for? Those men, again, they will come back to us and use us to vote for them. Why can't we vote for ourselves? This time, I think we should change the narrative. We cannot be clapping for them, cooking for them, and dancing for them. It's our time now for them to dance for us.
As the Gambia looks towards future electoral cycles, this initiative is expected to serve as a critical engine for ensuring that the nation's democratic processes are truly inclusive and reflective of its population. Mamna Buka, reporting for QTV News.
The Gambia Immigration Department GID on Thursday held a passing out ceremony for 100 Border Patrol Unit officers who successfully completed a 3-month intensive training program at the Gambia Armed Forces Training School in Fajara Barracks. Yafatu Gay tells us more.
Now I am more than happy to state that GID is now fully equipped to manage all migration-related cases and those referred to us by stakeholders.
The training, which began on the 16th November 2025, was specifically designed to equip GID officers with specialized knowledge and practical skills in border patrol operations. The initiative forms part of the department's border mandate to protect and secure the country's borders. Ibrahim Mboub, GID's Director General, urged the officers to perform their border security duties with professionalism and integrity.
Today, you stand before us as professionals, ready to defend the territorial integrity of the Gambia and to uphold the principles of lawful and humane migration management.
Major Abdoulaye Seka, the commandant of the Gambia Armed Forces Training School, expressed confidence in the preparedness of the officers.
I am glad to report that the graduating officers are proficient in marksmanship and field operations, both in urban and rural terrain, in the context of their roles as Border Patrol Unit.
Pate Jallo, the Assistant Inspector General of Police, highlighted the growing importance of effective border management in an evolving global landscape.
This ceremony is not only of individual achievement, but a significant milestone in our collective national effort to strengthen border management and internal security.
Tamsir Jase, an advisor to the Inspector General of Police, and Abubakar Suleiman Jeng, a national security advisor, urged the graduates to serve with purpose, dedication, and patriotism.
I ask you to look around because I want you to see the pride in the eyes of your families. I want you to see the respect in the posture of your superior officers. I want you to see the hope of a nation that is counting on you. You have been chosen for a reason.
This remarkable achievement is a testament to the collective national commitment, but importantly, the political will being demonstrated by the government to ensure the advancement and the successful implementation of the ongoing security sector reform agenda in the Gambia.
Jere Sanyang, a Deputy Permanent Secretary at the Ministry of Interior, delivered the keynote address.
You are challenged to serve as guardians of our border, as frontliners of our nation's pride, and angels of light in the moments of darkness.
Among the 100 graduates, the 5 top performing officers were promoted to Assistant Immigration Control Officer and will attend a 2-week capacity building training program in Italy. The graduates showcased tactical drills and response exercises, demonstrating readiness for deployment. The passing out ceremony is a milestone for the GID as it celebrates 100 trained officers ready to secure the Gambia's borders with professionalism and dedication. Reporting for QTV News, this is Yafat Gay.
We'll now go for a commercial break. When we return, we have more national, international, and sports news stories, so stay tuned.
Stay healthy and hydrated. The Food and Agriculture Organization of the United Nations FAO, in partnership with the Ministry of Health, encourages you to drink at least 2 liters of clean and safe water every day. Men, adults, and those working in hot environments need even more water. Remember to drink more during the hotter seasons to stay refreshed. Choose clean water over sweetening beverages like carbonated drinks and juices. Safe drinking water is vital for your health. Always obtain drinking water from the safe sources like tap water, bottled water, or protected wells. If you are unsure about your water, make sure you treat it by boiling, chlorination, or filtration. Stay hydrated, stay healthy, and choose water. Drink at least 2 liters of clean and safe water daily. Stay hydrated for a healthier life.
Welcome back, and this is QTV News with me, Loliam Camara. Countries worldwide observed the International Day of Women and Girls in Science 2026 yesterday under the theme Synergizing AI, Social Science, STEM and Finance, building inclusive futures for women and girls. Jacqueline Cooley has the details.
The day promotes the full and equal participation of women and girls in science, technology, engineering and mathematics STEM, while emphasizing the role of innovation in sustainable development. Globally, governments and development partners continue investing in ICT education, digital skills training, and youth innovation programs aimed at encouraging more girls to pursue science-related careers. Although girls' enrollment in schools has improved over the years, women remain underrepresented in technical and scientific fields worldwide. In the Gambia, organizations such as We STEM Gambia and the Q Group Foundation are key players in advancing girls' participation in STEM. The Q Group Foundation this week awarded scholarships to 20 UTG STEM students, 8 of whom are girls, and We STEM has over 1,000 members, reaching more than 2,000 women and girls across 50 schools. Within 3 years, We STEM has delivered over 50 STEM-focused programs. Marina International School hosted its annual Science Week this year, beginning with an engaging STEM lecture and followed by extensive science fair featuring student projects in biology, chemistry, and physics. The event sought to inspire students to explore STEM careers by showcasing real-world applications and promoting hands-on experiments. Governments and development partners across the globe continue to invest in ICT education, digital skills training, and youth innovation programs aimed at encouraging more girls to take up science-related careers. The International Day of Women and Girls in Science was established by the United Nations to enhance the participation of women and girls in science and technology and to promote gender equality worldwide. Reporting for QTV News, I am Jacqueline Goli.
The National Human Rights Commission has emphasized the importance of greater inclusion of persons with disabilities in national decision-making during a validation forum on the monitoring framework for the National Advisory Council for Persons with Disabilities. Jacqueline Koli again.
The forum is seeking to strengthen the monitoring of the Persons with Disabilities Act 2021, supported by the United Nations Partnerships on Rights of Persons with Disabilities through UNFPA and Child Fund the Gambia. The chairperson of the National Advisory Council for Persons with Disabilities, Magistrate Mohammed Kurubali, highlighted that persons with disabilities remain sidelined in many areas of society, including policy formulation and community development.
There is a need to have a very clear monitoring framework that council members can rely upon in the event of discharging our duties and responsibilities. And as such, an expert hearing a consultant is hired to come up with these monitoring tools or mechanism. And that is why we are gathered here today. And I must say that we are not gathered here today in a vacuum, but for a purpose that must be fulfilled by us and not to be betrayed.
Magistrate Kurubali noted that the establishment of the Advisory Council is a critical step towards changing this narrative, as it provides a platform for persons with disabilities to be represented at national and institutional levels, ensuring their voices are heard in matters of governance, development, and social services. The chairperson of the National Human Rights Commission, Emmanuel Daniel Juve, underscored the importance of the Advisory Council in advancing the rights of persons with disabilities.
It's the engine of the act. It is the driving force. But to effectively carry out its responsibilities, the Council requires practical tools, clear indicators, and a structured approach to monitoring.
The monitoring framework will empower the National Advisory Council to effectively track the implementation of the Persons with Disabilities Act and hold relevant institutions accountable for promoting equality, accessibility, and non-discrimination. Here is Musukuta Koma, Child Fund the Gambia's Country Director.
From a civil society perspective, this framework matters because it creates space for independent oversight and evidence-based advocacy. It enables early detection, identification of gaps, barriers, and discrimination. It promotes transparent reporting to the ministry concerned and the National Assembly. And finally, it ensures that no sector and no institution is beyond scrutiny when it comes to the rights of persons with disability.
The forum underscores a commitment to inclusion by seeking to empower the Advisory Council to ensure persons with disabilities are heard, represented, and protected, while strengthening accountability and advancing equality across all sectors of society. Reporting for QTV News, I am Jacqueline Koli.
Coming up next is international news. Today, February 12th, is International Day for the Prevention of Violent Extremism as and when conducive to terrorism, examining emerging threats and highlighting innovative approaches to long-term prevention in the age of new and emerging technologies. Man Nabuka has the story.
Established by the United Nations General Assembly in December 2022, the day seeks to provide a platform for member states, the United Nations system, and all relevant stakeholders to come together to address the conditions conducive to the spread of terrorism, raise awareness of its impact, and renew collective action to prevent it. While total global terrorism deaths significantly decreased by 13% in 2024, the geographic reach of the threat is expanding, with attacks now occurring in 66 countries, the highest number recorded in nearly a decade. The epicenter of this crisis shifted dramatically to the Central Sahel, which now accounts for over 50% of all global fatalities, and in the West, where attacks have jumped by 63%, largely driven by youth radicalization. This year's observance, marking 2 decades since the adoption of the United Nations Global Counter-Terrorism Strategy and 10 years of the UN Plan of Action to Prevent Violent Extremism, aims to shed light on these developing issues, with key focus placed on the intersection between violent extremism, conducive to terrorism, and emerging technologies. Rapid digital transformation, including artificial intelligence, algorithmic systems, evolving social media ecosystems, and emerging online spaces, is reshaping how individuals and communities communicate, form identities, and engage with the world. While these technologies offer significant opportunities to strengthen efforts to prevent and counter violent extremism, they are also increasingly exploited by terrorist actors. Online platforms and digital tools are misused to spread hate speech and harmful narratives, facilitate recruitment and radicalization to terrorism, disseminate disinformation, and mobilize support for violence, creating new and complex challenges for prevention efforts. Against this backdrop, PVE Day 2026 provides a vital space to analyze new threats and exchange successful strategies, placing priority on the promotion of prevention methods that are gender-responsive, inclusive, and strictly aligned with human rights standards. The event will highlight policies and partnerships that utilize technology ethically and responsibly, with the goal to convert high-level global pledges into measurable real-world results. Mamna Buka, reporting for QTV News.
Up next is sports news. The Gambia Organization of the Visually Impaired Govis School organized a day-long sports competition to promote inclusion, nurture talent, and strengthen community engagement among visually impaired students. Our sports reporter, Mamadou Gajaga, was there, and he now reports.
Students at the Gambia Organization of the Visually Impaired Govis School enjoyed an exciting day celebrating their annual sports day, featuring games like side box sports and athletics races. This event has been a highlight on the Govis school calendar since 2017. During the opening ceremony, several speakers highlighted the importance of sports for students, particularly those with visual impairment. Samba Jete, founder of the Govi Interhouse Sports Celebration, emphasized the importance of the event in promoting inclusion and development.
Being a visually impaired doesn't mean you should just be in the streets to beg. But of course, they have lots of talents. Visually impaired can do a lot in this country. I think nowadays, when we think once you are a visually impaired or a person with disability, you can't do anything in life. The only thing you could do is to sit in the streets and beg.
Mamudu S. Baji, the school's principal, Gaira Lamin, Govi's national treasurer, and Angela Mane Williams, an ambassador of the charity Sidebox, all highlighted how sporting activities provide persons living with disabilities an opportunity to express themselves and showcase their talents.
Since we started this in the house, we have been seeing some successes and then some improvement in the academic performance of the children.
We have started trying to prove to the society that blind people are not disabled persons, in the sense that being disabled doesn't mean that inability.
When I first came here, the maths pass rate for the school was 25%. Very, very poor. With 18 months of learning, having fun, calculating spaces with the sound of the bells that are in the balls in this box, that maths pass rate rose to 95%.
The event created moments of joy, inclusivity, and showcase of talents. Zainab Juara, a student at the school, expressed her excitement after taking part in the running competition.
I am very happy. We came to showcase our talents and we have proven that we can do everything so-called able-bodied people can do.
The Govi School Sports Day was a vibrant celebration of talent, inclusion, and determination, proving that visually impaired students can shine, inspire, and achieve just as much as anyone else. Mamudu Gajaga, QTV News.
Before we end, here's a recap of the headlines. As his week-long electrification project still continues, President Adama Barrow brought electricity to 202 communities in the Upper River region, marking another major milestone in the Gambia's drive toward universal access to power. The Female Lawyers Association Gambia, FLAG, in partnership with the Canada Fund for Local Initiatives, convened a national forum to address legal and structural barriers limiting women's participation in Gambian politics. The Gambia Immigration Department today held a passing out ceremony for 100 Border Patrol Unit officers after a 3-month intensive training program. Countries worldwide observed the International Day of Women and Girls in Science 2026 on Wednesday, promoting the full and equal participation of women and girls in STEM fields. In sports news, the Gambia Organization of the Visually Impaired Govi School organized a day-long sports competition to promote inclusion, nurture talent, and strengthen the community engagement among visually impaired students on Thursday. That's all for this bulletin. Join us again at 10 p.m. for another bulletin. Thanks for watching.